Hey, 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 Travel Brats. Happy Travel Brat Tuesday. It's your Travel Brat Nat here. And I don't know if you've heard, but Orlando has a brand new park. This amazing place that I got to visit, actually. And we're going to talk about it right here. Epic Universe.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Did you think you were going to sit here and have a whole epi about Epic Universe and I wasn't going to be here? I wasn't going to be here for the EPICsode?
Well...
Come on, folks. Come on, folks. We know better than that.
Surprise!
Your boy's in town, baby. Let's go.
Travel Brat Matt is here, y'all.
Let's go.
And he's really got the goods, okay? Now, we went together.
We did.
We went together.
We did.
Twice.
We did.
Pretty amazing place.
It's, how you say, epic?
It is pretty epic. But we have some thoughts. We have some things to share that are exciting and wonderful, but we also have a few of our own personal critiques. But we just want to take you through what Epic is all about.
Yes.
Some of the hots, maybe some of the nots, but mostly we're going to tell you the hots.
A lot of hot. There's a lot of hot.
There's a lot of
there.
hot.
A lot of hot.
There's a lot of hot. It's very exciting.
It's also June or May in Florida, so there's a lot of hot.
Yes.
So.
Yes, there is a lot of hot.
And we're coming in hot.
That's right. And you guys should be coming in hot to visit Epic because it has just opened. I mean, when did it actually
May
open?
22nd it opens. It's still not even open yet.
Well, yeah, technically it was open, but for certain people.
Previews.
Previews.
For previews.
So we attended previews. And for those of you that didn't attend previews and want to go when it's officially open to the public, where they have expanded the amount of people that they allow into the park, that starts in 2 days. Pretty exciting, May 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very, very exciting. So, here we go. Matt, do you want to take it away?
Let's set it off. I mean, walking up to Epic, you're just like, wow, this is insane. I mean, I think they've built an entire section of highway just for this place. So it is quite epic indeed. You know, walking up, you see the Celestial Tower, or the Kronos, sorry.
Oh,
the
Kronos.
Kronos is the name of the big thing that you walk under into the land. But I personally feel like this park itself is a direct shot at Disney and Magic Kingdom. From the way that it's built to a lot of the rides, just the experience in general just feels like a direct shot at Disney. Like, hey, Disney, we're coming. We're coming in hot. Everything's hot right now.
Yeah, I mean, the setup, so you have this area called Celestial Park that is the main area. And it kind of reminds me, I know we said Magic Kingdom, which we'll talk about why it reminds us of Magic Kingdom because of the 4 different lands that veer off from the central area. But the actual design of it is very Aussian. I feel like I could be in Wicked if you have seen that movie recently or seen the musical. Or just if you think of the classic Wizard of Oz, it feels very like stars and spacey and magical and elegant, but it also has like truly if it was all green and gold, the design would be Oz.
Yep.
And the colors are, I mean, it's more like it's golds and silvers
Some
and
purpley,
and purples
yeah,
and maybe some
galactic.
blues. Yeah, very galactic, like a galactic Wizard of Oz. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one thing that is really awesome was that almost every overall park thing. Sorry, I thought you were talking about.
But I mean, that could.
So one thing that we noticed about Celestial Park that I really loved, I mentioned it being very elegant. I thought that the theming was really beautiful. It was, well, I wouldn't say lacking, but you felt, Matt, that the theming left something a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, I think it was just, it felt, I mean, it's absolutely stunning, I want to say. Any critiques that we have, we're being very nitpicky. This is the most beautiful park in Florida. You know what I mean? It's
pristine.
Top of the line. I think they spent like $7 billion on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
insane.
beautiful.
It's absolutely stunning, and it's a wonderful time, and I can't wait to go back. But I think, especially for Celestial Park, it felt like it was lacking a direction. You know, it just kind of felt like they're throwing a bunch of things at the wall and seeing what sticks. But, you know, it's this overall just, yeah, we're in space. It's kind of this or that. But they didn't quite commit to one thing. And while that, like, bothers me, I'm doing air quotes, bothers me, it's still stunning and a beautiful time. And it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they've got these beautiful fountains. And then there's this really cool restaurant that is, like, under the water, like it's not under the sea as in like Little Mermaid themes, but it's like it's meant to feel like you are in the ocean. And that was part of the theming thing that we were like, well, this is weird, we're in space, we're in this like ethereal celestial themed place, and then we're under the ocean.
I believe it's called the Atlantic.
Yeah, and it's stunning. I mean, gorgeous restaurant. And it's like all glass on one side, and you can see the fountain, and then you can see the beautiful hotel. It's called the Helios, right?
The
Grand Helios. So that's really cool. When you walk into the main area of the park, you see this hotel. So for those of you that want to spend $600 a night to stay there,
it's $7, $8 even.
I mean,
it's pricey.
I'm sure it's quite an experience to
bet.
get to stay there. And we have some friends that are planning to stay there in the fall, and they got a really good deal on it, which, like, I'm excited for them because it really will be so beautiful and really a cool thing.
Absolutely.
I don't know that they let regular park goers walk in. We didn't even try to walk in, but I'm assuming not, because they would probably want to keep it, you know, kind of safe from like the thousands of people that are just walking past it in this park.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. And one of the things that is really especially beautiful is the carousel. It's pretty, I don't even know, like the word that's coming to mind is mesmerizing.
Ooh.
Because it's not like your average carousel. You're not just on this thing that's going around in, when you think of a carousel, just like a circle. It's individual things. It's not connected to one thing. So each creature is on its own. And I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you're like, you want to say you did it. It's still a carousel. A carousel is a carousel, but I thought it was really cool. And it's like, it spins within itself. It's hard to explain.
Like the carousel itself goes around in the circle, and then there's different segments of each of the creatures.
Within the circle that circles around themselves.
Yes.
So you're like, you could be going backwards. You could be going like different directions while it's all going around. The design is just beautiful.
Yeah.
And, you know, we didn't wait very long.
No,
it was
we walked right on.
The first thing we did on our first day there. And I think it's, you know, for a walk-on, obviously it's well worth it. I wouldn't wait too long to ride this ride, but it's not a ride. I mean, it's a carousel.
Yeah.
It's like a cute little experience. And what's nice about it is you can ride individual, or you can ride 2 on 1 back to back, like you're on a horse. And they have different creatures. And it's just beautiful what they've done with it. It's very starry. And I thought it was the best carousel ever. Like, I was just like, this carousel is so cool. And I do stand by that. I think it was really, really cool. And not just because of the design, but you get a nice, decent, long ride on it.
Yeah, it was a solid ride. I think one of my favorite things was the fact that you can ride 2 on one.
So we rode one together, and that was cute. And they have interesting creatures, which, again, this is another thing that's kind of like, okay, what exactly are we going for with the theming here? It almost, on the carousel, felt like I was in Narnia. So they have lions, rams, bulls, horses, bunnies, bears. They've got birds. I mean, clearly that's a swath of animals. Yeah. But they're very, just the design of them does make you feel like you're in kind of a magical place, but they're still horses.
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
And bears. You know, it's a little bit like, oh, what exactly is going on here? But what is the thing that the team members say?
One of the team members that we spoke to was talking about riding the carousel at night, and I fully believe, we didn't get to ride it at night, but riding it at night will probably be absolutely stunning. But they were mentioning that riding it at the end of the night is it brings the whole story together. And it was a really sweet thing to say, but it felt like, fluff.
Yeah.
It felt like PR fluff.
Like, the story of what? The story
what
of
exactly?
the park? You're not really sure, because I was like, well, what story are we telling?
Yeah.
Like, what exactly is
Narnia,
the story?
Oz.
Yeah, Narnia, Oz, space, galactic. But
underwater.
The thing is, it doesn't feel like Star Wars kind of space. It does feel very... just ethereal. And you do feel, it's another place that it reminded me of, the Capitol in Hunger Games. It's kind of like if you mixed like all those things together.
For sure.
So it does have its own uniqueness about it, but it also feels reminiscent of other things. But when you think of places like the Capitol and Narnia and the Wizard of Oz, like, to be in Oz, it's elevated, right? It's I guess there's I don't want to say royal, but there's this like high quality about it. And that's what you feel when you walk in the park.
For sure.
It's just like everything is so quality and everything is so beautiful and pristine.
It's brand new.
Brand new.
Like,
there are just a lot of really, really cool elements and different things, especially when we went the second time that we noticed. Because the first time we went, we just wanted to ride all the rides, check everything out. So rides were our top priority. Now, we tried a couple of snacks. But then the second time we went, it was more about let's shop, let's go in the stores, let's actually really try some snacks, let's see what it's all about. And we definitely got like drinks. We tried cocktails. Like, for example, the restaurant that we were talking about, the Atlantic, had some really good cocktails, and I think we got
an espresso Manhattan.
there, which we love espresso martinis.
Love a teeny.
And to try an espresso Manhattan was actually really delicious. That was a nice little something a little bit different. And so when you're in Celestial Park, there's all these restaurants. It's not just the Atlantic. There's all these little spots that you can stop in, whether it's shops or restaurants or little stores or different little vendor type of places where you can get all sorts of things. And one of them is called the Plastered Owl. And well, speaking of espresso martinis, we got a cold brew martini there, which was off menu but very delicious. The Plastered Owl. And I found the Plastered Owl a little bit hard to find.
Yeah. It's just off the side of one of the restaurants. And I think it's more for cocktails and such, where it's the Oak and the name escapes me, but it's the Oak and something.
Not the Oak and Stone, is it? I'm thinking maybe that's another place.
But it's just off the side of that, around the back side. And then you just walk right up. It's got a little outdoor area. You can go inside if you want, but you can just walk right up, order your cocktail, grab it, take it to go.
Yeah.
But we got the off-menu cold brew martini, and it was divine.
And we heard that Pizza Moon is really good. And there's a Chinese restaurant
that wasn't open
when we were there. But apparently, a lot of the food spots are really delicious. So if you're a foodie and you want to go there and experience some delicious places to eat, then I think you're good to go with a lot of different options. And what was Bar Zenith?
Bar Zenith was one of the little, just a bar in the middle of the park, or on one side of the park. It was right next to the Metro.
I liked the cocktails there. Matt was not as much of a fan.
I wasn't crazy about them. They're still good. They're very well crafted. Like they're definitely, they know what they're doing, but it wasn't up my alley.
Yeah.
Especially for that day.
So aside from the carousel, tell us what else is in Celestial Park.
Well, I will say that Celestial Park has the best ride in the park. The pretty much the only coaster in the park for those coaster nuts like this guy. Stardust Racers. Stardust Racers, if you've been to Islands of Adventure when it first opened to the early 2000s, you would have ridden a ride that's probably one of my favorite rides of all time, with the Dueling Dragons. This is their attempt to win the fans back, because people have been rioting in the streets since they took that away.
And granted, they replaced it with Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, which a lot of people really love, but there's just something about the Dueling Dragons ride, and it was so special. I remember that being my favorite ride for sure when I went back in the day. And so this ride, Stardust Racers, has two different sides to it. There's a green side and yellow side. And I preferred the yellow side. And Matt,
I kind of like them
both.
both for different reasons. I think if I were to ride one consistently, it would probably be the yellow side.
Yeah, and the reason why, so we're going to kind of rate the rides, and I would give the yellow side an 8.5. However, I would give the green side a 6.5. And for me, it's because I don't like a ride that is jerky. And it's still very smooth. I mean, this is a new ride, but green had a few moments that felt a little bit jerky to me compared to yellow. And so that just put yellow for me over the top. But it's so awesome, this ride, because you can see the other people on the other coaster passing by you in twists and turns, and you literally start the race together, and you can look at them and be like, you're going down. It's so funny. And every time we rode, a different side won.
Yeah.
So it's not, I mean, I don't know if they just arbitrarily decide which one is going to win. I don't know how that works, if it's dependent on weight in the coaster or if it has anything to do with that. But at first I was like, oh, maybe it's rigged, maybe one side is always bound to win. But no, it was random every single time. And I think you said that green had more ride than glide. Was that the phrase you used?
It's more, I don't want to say more intense, but it's definitely, it jerks you around. You get, it's a lot of fun for those that you like that, the adrenaline junkies.
Right.
Whereas
but
the yellow side is
yellow isn't lame.
No, it's not lame
not
at all.
like
it's amazing.
It's still they're both pretty even.
Yeah, it's just very smooth.
But some people prefer the green. I think that's maybe the consensus is people seem to like green a little bit more.
Green seems to be more popular. I think it's one goes up and corkscrews, and another one corkscrews and goes down.
And I like going up and corkscrewing down, which is what the yellow does.
But I like corkscrewing and going down.
And going
so
down.
That's why I like the green.
Yeah.
But after that, there's a moment where the cars go on different sides of the actual ride itself, and they do these little up and downs. But the way that the green comes into that, you're
it's like moguls when you're skating.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. Whereas the yellow goes up and then it's really, really smooth. You get some nice air time. It's really, really fun.
Yeah.
It's an amazing ride. I give both of them an 8.5 out of 10. It's a must ride.
Yeah.
No matter when, but it is especially a must ride at night.
Oh my gosh, guys, this ride at night is so beautiful.
Yeah, with the park lit up.
It's so beautiful, and you can see one of the lands, which we'll talk about in a second, Burke. You can see, especially if you're on the yellow side. I don't think if you're on the green side you can see it. This is another reason why I like yellow, is because, I mean, of course, during the day you see it as well, but at night it's really cool to see the land of Burke on your left side, and to see more of the park, you want to ride the yellow. But at night, we had such a blast on it at night.
Yeah.
We loved it during the day, but at night it was like it was like a whole new ride.
Yeah, seriously. And we also, we usually wait for the front on every ride because we love that. But we got stuck in the back because it was so late. But I think being in the back when it's dark it was
really cool.
It added to the excitement of it because you
they
don't know
couldn't
what's
see
coming.
where we were going.
Yeah, it's so dark
so
out.
It was like a little bit.
Wait.
Yeah. So we were like middle back. I don't like being in the back because I don't like kind of getting that flip. And I know some people definitely they love to be in the very back. I don't prefer that. I do like to see where I'm going because I can get a little bit nauseous on some things. But we ended up riding it a number of times, and we caught it a few times when the line was really low. But then the times that we went at night, because everybody knows, it's not a secret that riding this ride at night is the move.
Yeah.
And so everybody was in line at night, and we probably waited an hour, maybe even 70 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Which, for a night ride, I felt like was worth it, especially because we don't know the next time that we're going to get to Epic Universe. But I think it's for a ride like this, man, if you can get on it for a 30-minute wait, you're golden. 45 minutes is nice. An hour is still worth it, I think. Yep. But if you can get on it for less, I mean, of course, that's always the goal. But
So I would definitely say this ride is a Galaxy Defender.
and
For sure.
would you care to explain, Matt,
I mean,
what Galaxy Defender?
Those listeners, if you like Universal like we do, there's a very special ride called Men in Black, and it's a shooting game where you collect points, and at the end they rank your performance. You know, there's Galaxy Defenders, there's Cosmically Average, and then there's Bug Bait. So we're trying to avoid Bug Bait, and we're always looking for Galaxy Defenders. And this ride is a Galaxy Defender through and through.
For sure.
Either side.
All right, so take us through the lands.
Should we go in order? Should we
Yeah, let's go in order.
Which side? Let's go to, let's start with Mario.
Yeah.
Let's start with Nintendo World. So when you first walk into the park, if you take a left, the first land is going to be Super Nintendo World. And walking into that right away, you are completely immersed in the land of Mario. It is absolutely insane. I know they have this in Japan, like a land like this. I don't know if it's a replica of it, but it is unreal. You're literally stepping into a video game. It's insane.
The colors, the music,
so
that they're
vibrant,
playing,
it's so alive.
And the whole, it's like the whole place is just moving.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much movement, and you really feel like you're truly, like you said, in the game. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was loud and fun, and as I said, the bright colors. I think for some it could be overstimulating. I think for me, I was like, I mean, Nintendo has never been a big part of my life. So while I thought it was really amazing, and I know what all of these things are, or I have some sort of reference for it, I was more just wowed at how just deep they went into the theming.
The attention to detail.
Yeah, but
throughout
for
the
people,
entire park, but especially this land.
Yeah, but for people that know this video game and love these characters, I mean, you are going to be just utterly amazed.
Another thing I love about this land is you can purchase a power band and go throughout the entire land of Mario and like play games and like collect coins and, you know, get on the leaderboard that's hanging in like all over the land itself. It's really cool. So there's a couple rides in Mario. One of them being one of my favorite games growing up was Mario Kart. And this, one of the hardest lands and one of the hardest levels in Mario Kart has always been Bowser's Castle. And now this is Bowser's Castle live in person in living color. You're there, you're riding your car, you're shooting shells. It is a lot of fun. It is so fun.
It's so fun. And again, for someone who didn't grow up playing these video games, I had a blast and it was clever. Now, again, as I said, I can sometimes get a little nauseous on rides. Mostly it's like screen related rides that I feel that way about. And if you're sensitive to that, this ride you might get a little queasy with because you have to wear these like special glasses and you're kind of looking through this screen type of thing. It's hard to explain,
augmented reality.
But it's augmented reality. It's so cool. And we did well with our points. Decent.
I think. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I got 114. Matt got 118. So he did a good job. Yeah. But you're basically playing a big version of the video game. And I think they've done a really neat job with it. Now, it is a predetermined route. So you're not necessarily actually playing in the sense that the ride is taking you where you're going. But you are still playing in the sense that you have the ability to gain points based on how you play. Yeah. So this one also got a Galaxy Defender.
Yep, I gave this one a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely a Galaxy Defender. It's a lot of fun. It's a great time. All the cues, like walking through the line, is really cool. You walk right into the castle, and then you see all like the different scenes and stuff. It's really fun. Definitely a great time.
The theming truly was impeccable for this one.
Outstanding.
And then Minecart Madness, it's cool because like you kind of go into another land within a land with this. You go to the Donkey Kong area, and we consider this ride to be the most innovative of the park. I don't think that we're the only ones who think that.
No,
I
definitely
mean, it's
not.
like it's pretty. What's the word? I mean, other than innovative, I mean that's what it is.
It really
like
is.
the technology of the ride
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it
pretty wild. However, I don't think they've perfected it quite yet, because when we rode it the first time, it was very jerky to a point where I said, I don't need to ride that ride again. You know, I've done it once, I've experienced it, that's great, but it's not the ride for me. As I said, with the green ride, I don't do jerky. That's not for me. So, you can bring your bags on it though.
Yep.
Which is nice.
For the most part, just about every ride, you can bring all your bags on.
Yeah,
That's
except for
like
the Stardust Racers.
Yeah.
I think that was really the only one. Well, maybe the one in Burke.
And Monsters, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. But again, for the most part, you can have your bag and you don't have to pay for a locker, which is great. I love that.
Yeah, theming 10 out of 10 for that ride.
Yeah.
Natalie didn't love it because it jerked her around. I don't remember what you gave it exactly.
I gave it a 2 for jerkiness.
But I gave it like a 7 to 7.8. You know, I would say it's cosmically above average.
And I would say it's maybe bug bait.
You're giving it bug bait. Wow.
Maybe that's
too
rough.
No,
it's cosmically below average for me.
What's crazy about it is you look like you're on a regular coaster on a track, but you're actually on an arm. So it skips over portions of track, like you're actually riding on a minecart in an old Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, it looks like you go off track for a while.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's really, really cool. It could be a little bit longer. You know, it's pretty short. It was very jerky the first time we rode it. I went on it a second time when we went back, and it was significantly lighter in the jerky department. And I've read that they're kind of like some people's different experiences. So I think they're trying to perfect the jerky to not jerky ratio.
Yeah.
But it's a great ride. It's amazing. The theming is phenomenal.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Cosmically above average.
Yeah. And for kids, there's a really cute ride called Yoshi's Adventure. And of course, we had to go on it because, as I said, our goal the first time was to get on every ride just so that we could tell you guys about it. And it's an adorable kids ride. And it's actually kind of long. Like, it's a nice little, you just kind of ride through this little land.
You see the whole area of Mario.
Yeah, and then it's a little interactive, like when they say like, oh, when you see the red, thing, hit this. When you see the blue thing, hit this, and you have the little
eggs.
Things.
The
Yoshi eggs, yeah.
And that's another game where if you have the power band,
yeah,
you're collecting points throughout that whole ride,
yeah,
and everything.
So this ride, in our opinion, for adults, is bug bait. It's not really a ride. Like it's cute and it's great for kids, but
yeah, we give it a 4. But it's cute, it's fun. Do it if you have time and if the line is low.
Yeah. And then we tried to eat or drink something in every land. However, we weren't necessarily excited about anything in Nintendo
we were full,
Land.
honestly.
And we were kind of getting full at this point because it was the end of our day. And so we didn't end up trying anything here. But we have heard that the Toadstool Cafe has some really good options.
Yes.
So if you want to try that, all the lands have some really cool spots for food. Now, Nintendo Land was probably the one I don't want to say least excited about, but it was just like, oh, but it ended up really wowing me.
Yeah.
Now, both of us were very excited about this next land we're going to tell you about, and it's like weird. It's maybe expectations are an interesting thing, right? It's like I didn't have any expectations really for Nintendo Land, and I was blown out of the water. Then I did have some expectations for this next land, and it's still pretty amazing, but it's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, and I think we just wanted it to be a little more.
Yeah. When you leave Mario and you take a left, if we're continuing on the same path, the next land you come up to is the Monsters Land. And this is the land that I was most excited about because growing up, I loved, the old classic Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, all those monster movies were amazing, and they still are. They definitely hold up. But this land, when you walk in, you're taken into, I think they're going for Germany, or like the field, like Das Steakhouse. And, you have the old Gothic buildings and the woman playing the violin and like the garb. It's really, really stunning. The fog and all that stuff. It's really, really cool. It's very detailed. Like we said, though, I could have used a little more land. Now, this land has an area for expansion, so I'm sure they're going to tap into that eventually. But something that's amazing about this land is one of the rides, the Frankenstein's Castle. This ride is probably the best dark ride I've ever been on. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. It's a mixture of animatronics and a little bit of screens, but not like I need goggle screens. So it's kind of like the Harry Potter castle meets Rise of the Resistance.
But it wasn't overwhelming, and I didn't get queasy at all.
Yeah. Which
was just such a plus for me. And the animatronics are amazing.
They are absolutely outstanding.
It's definitely worth a wait. I mean,
the first time we rode it, one of the biggest waits in the park.
Yeah, the first time we rode it, we waited an hour, but then we caught it at a low point.
Mm-hmm. We got on like 25 minutes.
25
the second
minutes.
Time we went, it was the first ride we went to.
Yeah.
It was outstanding. The animatronics on it are extremely lifelike. It's kind of scary how good they are.
Yeah, but the queue is really detailed. Yep. You go through, I mean, you're in Dr. Frankenstein's castle. Mm-hmm. And of course, we won't tell you the story.
No spoilers.
Happens. No spoilers. We don't do spoilers here. But it's really fun, the characters that you meet and the different things. Now, we maybe thought it could have been a little scarier.
A little bit. I think the creatures could have gotten a little closer to you. But, like I remember the Death Eaters and the Harry Potter castle used to get a little bit closer to you and like blow the smoke, and then people complained, so they kind of pulled them back a little bit. So I'm wondering if that had something to do with this. But they say it's part screen ride, but you don't like screen rides really. They kind of make you a little sick, and this was nothing like the traditional screen ride. It's truly remarkable. There's really, I'm at a loss of words just thinking about it. It's one of the craziest rides that I've ever been on.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm a thrill seeker, so I love coasters, but this ride, I could ride this ride all the time. It's one that I will absolutely be hitting up every single time.
And this one, if you have like a fanny or some sort of small bag like that,
they
allow you to you can ride with your fanny.
Yes,
but yes, you do have to put your stuff in lockers if you have something bigger than a fanny. But we definitely gave this one a Galaxy Defender,
big time Galaxy Defender.
Yeah
For
sure. I mean, we said 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, but like 8.5. I think 8.5.
And I think part of that is because maybe our expectations when we first went on the ride, we thought it was going to be scarier and they were going to be more in our face, or like, I don't know. We just like someone along the way told us that it was like a really scary ride, that you'd be scared at points. And we were like, oh, and like I get spooked and I wasn't really spooked, but maybe I was expecting it to be, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. So maybe that's why we were feeling.
It's still absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It's a great ride.
One of the best rides in the park. One of the best rides in all of Florida, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would say.
And the Burning Blade Tavern, I just have to say before we talk about the next ride in this area, is a really cool spot with this windmill that every so often will blaze and be on fire, which is just like cool. And they have some really delicious drinks, both alcohol and non-alcoholic, but we got this cocktail called the Pure of Heart, and they did this really cool presentation with it.
There's a story behind it.
There's a story. Yeah. They like do this whole thing. And then sometimes there's this guy who's dressed up like he's in that, old era. I don't know what it's giving. Is it like 1800s? Something like that. And he's dressed, and then he'll get everyone to howl. And everyone in the bar, in the tavern is just like howling. And I don't know, it's like a performance moment, and everyone gets involved. And we happened to be there during one of those moments, which was really fun. And we had heard that the burger at Das Steakhouse was very good. We didn't try it. Instead, we actually got the burger at the Burning Blade Tavern. We were not very pleased, to be honest. It's a black bun, which is super interesting, and I love the way it looked. Yeah. But the burger itself, I felt, was overcooked. The bread was not very fresh. It was just kind of dry. And TMI, but we saw somewhere on Reddit after the fact that the dye they use for the bread turns your poop green.
So that was fun.
That was an interesting thing to experience. And
but to not know that that's why.
Why that was happening. Like, it was so weird. And then somehow Matt came across it and he was like, you're never going to believe this. So anyway, that's a fun little factoid.
That's a little tidbit. Moving on.
So yeah, there's
another ride in the land, which is an actual coaster. It's the Curse of the Wolfman, I believe is the name of it. Really, really fun. I thought it was fun.
Short.
It's very short.
A little short.
It could have been a little longer. So like a 20, 30 minute wait on that's perfect. Anything like 45 hour is really pushing it for me.
Yeah,
45 I'd probably do, but like hour plus, no thank you. I don't want anything to do about that.
But it's a pretty interesting ride because you're in a coastery type of thing, right? But each section of it is its own. Each car fits 4 people, and there's 2 on each side, and it spins you around. So you're moving around within it as it's going, forward and backward. You're spinning around,
which it does go backwards.
As well. And then when you're in the barn, just make sure to look up. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. And I would say riding it, we rode it in the day, and then we rode it, the second time we rode it, it was like in the evening.
Yeah, dusky,
which was really, really
nice.
cool. And I bet riding it at night would be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Because then you don't really know what's coming next, so maybe that would make it feel more exciting. But yeah, it could have been a little longer. I would say cosmically above average, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
I think is what we gave that
It's a good ride for people who don't necessarily want the fast, more coaster energy of like a Stardust Racer ride.
We call it a gateway coaster.
Yeah. But again, if spinning around, it doesn't spin you around too much. I was a little concerned about getting queasy, and I was fine. But again, I always take my Dramamine at the beginning of the day and just hope for the best. Sometimes I do need to put a little peppermint on my temples.
But it was very comfy.
Yeah.
And, it was a good ride. It's a great ride.
Yeah. All right, which one is next?
All right, so after you leave Monsters Unchained, that land, and you take a left, you pass Gran Helios, the hotel, and then the land after that is Paris for the Harry Potter land, based on Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yes.
Which has not gotten a lot of
love.
Yeah,
and
we'll
maybe
say.
This is their attempt to kind of like revitalize the desire for people in that world, but it's beautiful. This land is absolutely beautiful.
It is utterly stunning. Utterly stunning. They have done an incredible job.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, here we are. It's Universal. Their theming is just some of the best theming when it comes to parks. And we have always stood by that. And as much as we love Disney, which also clearly has a hold on theming, but I think Universal has just really upped the ante with this.
They've risen the bar with this entire
they
process.
For sure have. And again, it does feel a lot like Magic Kingdom in the sense of how it's laid out, but also just the way that it's designed. But
Magic
you still
Kingdom could never.
This still feels very much like Universal. It
the
has
attention to detail.
Yeah, it has the stamp of Universal, and the Parisian streets that you walk through, and then oh my gosh, y'all, when you ride the Ministry of Magic ride, and you can go into the atrium without having to ride the ride, but holy cow, you go through the Flu Network. If you know anything about Harry Potter, I won't necessarily explain because this is not the time for it, but you go through the Flu Network, which is basically just a way to get you to certain places. And you go from Paris through the Flu Network to the Ministry of Magic in London. So you walk into the atrium of the Ministry of Magic, and
it is just
holy
breathtaking.
Smokes.
Absolutely breathtaking.
I don't think I've ever been more in awe of something at a park.
I think it reminds me of the first time I walked into Diagon Alley.
Yes.
And I was just like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
I have never seen anything like this. You walk into that atrium and you're like,
I mean, you really feel like you're in the movie, which is how it feels when you walk into Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
it really feels like you are a part of it. And it was, especially for me as a Harry Potter fan, I was just blown away.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop just walking around. I mean, I probably spent 10 minutes just walking around. And the park is having some issues.
Yes, a lot of people are having trouble. It's a virtual queue right now, and it'll probably be like that for a while. We were very lucky in the fact that we got to ride it not once, but we rode it twice in a row. It's pretty insane that it happened.
And I will say, like, it is a screen ride, and I did get a little queasy on it, which I struggle with the Hogwarts, the house ride. So for me, I was like, okay, now I've done it. You know, I can check that off the box. I got to experience it. It was very cool. I love that the story centers around Umbridge, but I didn't necessarily feel like it was the best thing I'd ever ridden. Like, I don't really know that I ever need to ride it again.
I would definitely. It's, you know, from the way that people are talking about it, it's the most advanced technology ever used on a ride of this kind. And it's kind of like Monsters in the fact that it's like a little bit of screen and a little bit of animatronic. It's actually a lot of screen and a little bit of animatronic. So I was definitely looking for more of that animatronic side of it. But when they did use animatronics, it was insane.
And don't get me wrong, the ride is
spectacular.
Really cool.
It's absolutely spectacular.
But for us, it's not worth as long of a wait as some of the other rides are.
And honestly, we don't even know when they're going to open it to the public. It's probably going to be a virtual queue for quite some time while they work out the kinks on it. But I would say motion averse folks beware.
Yeah,
we definitely said that because she was starting to feel a little bit queasy on it.
A little bit queasy.
You can ride with your bags, all of your bags, which is nice. As far as a ranking, I gave it like a 7.8 because it is really, really spectacular. So it's cosmically above average for us, but it's definitely going to be somebody's Galaxy Defender.
Yeah,
it will absolutely be somebody's Galaxy Defender.
Someone will think,
it is spectacular. It is quite a spectacle. There is nothing like it.
Yeah.
Besides Monsters. You know what I mean? But it's really, really fun and it's stunning. And if you're lucky enough to get a time, it is definitely worth riding it at least once because it's so advanced. The technology that they're using there is insane.
Yeah. And then, so when it came to this land, there's really not much else going on aside from the Ministry of Magic and the Atrium. They have a show, which was... I mean, stunning. So if you are interested in shows at parks like this, then I would definitely say go to the show. It's called, Le Cirque Arcanu? I don't know if you pronounce the S at the end.
Paul, I
Terrible.
do. You know what I mean?
But it's a really interesting show that centers around some of the creatures that Newt Scamander... If you've ever seen Fantastic Beasts, Newt Scamander is the main character. And so it deals with some of the different creatures that he comes across in that film. And our friend Kate is actually one of the performers in it. So we got to see her perform while we were there, which was really awesome to get to see a friend do the show. And just visually very, very stunning.
Yeah.
And
you walk in thinking it's going to be one thing, and then it just completely
totally
changes
different.
into something else. It's really, really awesome.
Although there aren't a lot of rides in this land, I would definitely say the show is worth going to.
For sure.
And there's no wait time. You just go in and get a seat, and you're good to go.
Get there a little early.
Yeah, get there a little early.
Get in there.
Yeah. But one thing we did do, there's this kind of little hidden bar area off to the side in one of the corners. When you first go in, you go under this beautiful arch. Then you go in, and there's some musicians playing, and then there's a lady, I forget her name, but she's a French wand maker, and she'll chat with you if you want. And then the musicians, I think it's a clarinet, trumpet, and trombone, and that's super fun because it's Paris set in the 1920s, so they're playing some of that fun jazzy style music. And then off to the right is where this bar is. And we got some really yummy cocktails there, and then just, walked around with those to go to our next land, which this one was my favorite land.
Yes, my favorite as well.
I love How to Train Your Dragon so much, but I will say I didn't really know what to expect. I think I also probably thought that Monsters would end up being my favorite, or I was looking forward to that one the most. But holy cow, the land of Berk was gorgeous.
Yep.
I mean, the world building
Yeah.
was unbelievable. I
Yeah.
walked in and my jaw was on the floor.
Yeah, it's definitely the most complete. It felt like the most complete land, if not the second most, compared with Nintendo. Those are the two most feeling complete lands. But it is amazing. You walk in and then you see the giant. I can't think of the name of what it's called, but just everything that you know and love about How to Train Your Dragon. You walk in and it's smack dab in front of you. You're just like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Yeah.
It is absolutely outstanding.
And this land, for us, had the best snacks.
Mm-hmm.
We loved. Oh my gosh, what was the
cones?
The cones, these macaroni and cheese cones.
Yeah, it's like in a hoagie roll, cut off and scooped out, and they fill it with mac and cheese. There's one that's like it's a regular one with like some goldfish sprinkled on top, but then we got one that had like a spicy pulled chicken. Holy smokes! This
and then they
thing.
have a barbecue one. And the bread has like all these yummy spices on it. I mean, it's
everything bagel seasoning.
Yeah.
To be
But
honest.
that one we just really loved.
We
the
got
snack of
that twice because it is that good. It was phenomenal, and they sell it in most of the food places in the area.
Mm-hmm. And aside from the food, this is also at this moment the only other land that has a show.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a friend who performs in the show, our friend Antonio. Unfortunately, he wasn't on either of the days that we went.
Yeah.
But we went to go see the show, and it also involves a lot of really, really cool animatronics. The bummer was that the main animatronic, of course, the main character of Toothless, wasn't working. So we didn't really know what we were missing because we didn't know like how much Toothless is a part of it. Mm-hmm. And then near the end of the show, one of the other animatronics that is like very important to the storytelling of this particular show was breaking down, and they had to shut down the show. Yeah. So we didn't end up finding out like the end. I mean, we knew how it was going to end at that point, but it was probably like, I bet it was like 7 more minutes of the show.
We don't know.
There was probably like a big dance and song number. Like it was like a miniature musical. I mean, people were dancing their faces off, singing. Mm-hmm. Like it was a really cool story. I loved it.
Yeah. The name of the show is The Untrainable Dragon, and we do not know whether, in fact, that dragon could have been trained or not.
Yeah, we never got to find out.
So if you're out there, dragon, I hope you're trained.
I hope you're trained.
Or I hope you're free. You know? But something about this land that I really love, one of my favorite rides in the entire park, is Hiccup's Wing Glider. Mm-hmm. It's honestly, it's on par with Hagrid for me. Yeah. If not better. I personally like it more than Hagrid. I'm not a big Hagrid stan, but I love Hiccup's Wing Glider. That ride, it is so fun. It is perfect for people who aren't huge coaster people, but also people who are huge coaster people. Mm-hmm. It really teeters that line really, really awesome. And it's still a kid's ride, quote unquote, but it's thrilling. It's exciting. It's fast. It's really awesome.
And it's a nice length.
Yeah. Oh, it's long. Yeah. It's long. It goes around the entire land of Berk. Yeah. So it was amazing. It was
and that's amazing. The ride that when you're on Stardust Chasers on the yellow side, that's the ride that you see. Mm-hmm. You go past it. And I just thought that was really cool. I loved this ride. This was definitely a highlight for the whole trip.
Yeah, the entire land, the entire park.
Yeah, I would definitely say that it was a Galaxy Defender.
It's the more I think about it, the higher I'm ranking it. I'm going to give it a solid 8. It's a Galaxy Defender. It's amazing. Yeah. It's absolutely amazing. And then there's animatronics on it. It's got a little bit of a blast off. It's got it rolls back.
Yeah,
it's got really a little bit of everything. It's really, really fun. I highly recommend doing that.
Yeah. And then the other two rides are cute. they're like kids rides. I mean, there's like a little water ride. It's called Fire Drill, and it's short but fun.
You ride in a little boat.
Yeah, you ride in a little boat, which is adorable, and you shoot water, and you can like go around the corner and blast people that are waiting to come out to start their ride, and so that's probably the most fun part about it. But you're aiming at these little targets and you're trying to just like hit them, but you don't really.
There's no score.
Yeah, there's no scoring system,
there doesn't keep scoring,
and you could like. We didn't get very wet the first time we rode it. The second time,
I think it was the blue side.
Yeah,
you don't get wet.
That you don't really get wet
but
on.
The green side is where the other boats coming can shoot at you.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting on green side, you're probably going to get wet.
You're probably going to get wet. So it's one of those things where just know that you could get wet or you could walk off possibly fully dry.
Yeah.
Who knows? But that one was cute. I mean, I would say we gave that a cosmically average for our taste.
Yeah.
Six,
I mean,
six
when
and
it's
a half.
a hot day, especially in the park, there's not a lot of shade. It's the perfect ride to be like, all right, I'm dying of heat. I need to go get soaked. Put me on the green side. I'm ready to get wet.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other ride is called Dragon Racers. Another cute kiddie ride.
Yeah.
It's very short as well. You go up and you're flying kind of, it's like those rides where the swing.
Yeah, it's like a swing ride.
You spin a swing, but you can actually flip upside down. Each individual seat has the ability to turn, and you have little wings that you can kind of manipulate. And if you figure it out, you can go all the way upside down while you're, spinning in a circle on this big contraption. This one you might have to just look it up because it's maybe I'm not really explaining it very well. But Matt almost got a full roll. He came close.
Almost.
You got some twists.
I got a lot of twists.
You got some twists. On the other hand, I was happy to just stay in my little seat, not do any crazy twists or rolls. None for me, thank you very much. But I think it would be a cute ride at night.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot more fun to ride at night, seeing the park lit up. I definitely give it like a 6.5, 6.75. It's cosmically above average, cosmically average. It's too short. If it was a little bit longer, it would have been a little bit better. But
a little bit better.
And maybe once we ride it more and get the hang of it and actually start getting those rotations out of it, it'll be a lot more fun. But other than that, I don't need to ride that one again.
Yeah.
But let me go back. Hiccup Swing Glider, absolutely ride that at night. That is the perfect
Definitely.
ride.
Yes, that's another one. We ended the night with that one, and then we went right to Stardust. Well, I guess technically we ended with Stardust Racers,
yeah.
but
we did that one once it got dark. We did that one.
Dark.
Then we ran over to Stardust, and that was the end of the night.
Yeah, and that was a really great way to end the night.
We actually went to Wolfman, Hiccups,
yeah,
and then Stardust.
So we went to boom, boom,
That's
boom.
the perfect way to end the night, in our opinion. I think that's the perfect way to end a perfect day at Epic.
Yeah.
An epic day at Epic.
Epic day.
And that's it. That's all the lands.
I mean, what do you think overall?
Overall, it's by far the most expansive and exciting park that I've ever been to. I've never seen anything like it. Visually stunning, and it's an absolute must-see. You have to go. But there's been such a big build-up and just the anticipation and waiting for everything. And if I'm being totally honest, I kind of expected more. And that may be crazy for me to say because it is truly epic. It really, they named it very appropriately. But it's a brand new park that has 11 rides, and 2 of them are really kids rides, with the Toad, with Yoshi and the carousel. So you really only have 9 actual rides.
And even the one we were just talking about in Burke.
Yeah, those are kids rides too. So you
really only have about 5 rides that feel more adult, which again is what made us think of Magic Kingdom and just Disney in general. In that, it's a place for families, a place for kids. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were leaning into that because of how much Disney leans into that. And, I do think that Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios are great parks for families, but they are more coaster-centric. And so you do see a lot less kids there than when you go to a Disney park.
Yeah.
And I think Epic will probably bring in more kids, especially because How to Train Your Dragon, Nintendo, those are very kid-centric type of stories and themes, but also The adults really love it too. How could you not?
Yeah. I wonder that once this place is at full capacity, if there's going to be enough to do to kind of spread out the lines and the crowds and everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're looking at hour plus waits every day. You know, no matter if it's a slow day or a busy day, it's going to be packed. Just
know that might be the case.
Yeah.
However, we believe that this park is definitely worth a visit.
For sure. You know, that's these issues, quote unquote, and they're having other like technical issues that happen when you open a brand new park. It's shaping up to be a little bit rough in the beginning, I feel like, but once all those kinks worked out, this place is going to be unmatched. You know, especially they have areas for expansion. They have, you know, there's plans, I'm sure, to bring more to the park itself. And once that happens, I think Universal's really in a place to take the crown.
Yeah.
To own Florida. But that's
there it is, guys.
That's the park. Go out and see it. Tell them we sent you. They won't say anything, but, you know, we'll feel good about it.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. This was quite epic.
Yes, it was. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.